What is going on, guys? So, I couldn't believe my luck when I stumbled across this article this morning. Because you know how feminists, especially those like Clementine Ford, are always like, oh, these incels are just misogynists. Meh. Well, turns out that there are female incels as well, which we already knew, but the mainstream media would never acknowledge. Until today. Check this out. Involuntary celibate women who say they're rejected by all men because of their looks, fat, ugly, or personality, feminist cunts. What funny that. Reveal they are also shunned by misogynistic male incels who insist any female can have sex if she really wants. Well, I actually think that any female can have sex if they really want. But let's read further into this article, shall we? Because we really need to get to the bottom of this whole female incel thing and see what the mainstream media is up to with this article. Because I smell trouble. Oh, by a Daily Mail reporter. They don't specify who the reporter is. Interesting. Here we go. 3 female members of the incel community have shared their reasons for being a part of the controversial movement associated with misogyny, anti-feminism, and violence. What a great start to the article. That's fucking sensational. The term incel is short for involuntary celibates, while female incels are known as femcels. Write that down, guys. Femcels. Femcels. Use that loudly and proudly. Hashtag it. Let's make this shit trend. So whenever you see someone going, oh, you're just an incel, just go, yeah, nice one, femcel. Let's see how long it takes for that phrase to go viral. Members of the movement define themselves as being unable to find romantic or sexual partners despite their desire to have them. A woman called Rachel, 19, told Huck magazine that she came across the term incel for the first time 4 years ago and felt it was the perfect way to describe her situation. So you mean a girl that couldn't get laid at the age of 15? I reckon you shouldn't be getting laid at the age of 15. I reckon you should be keeping your fucking legs closed at the age of 15. Just putting it out there. Anyway, let's continue. I've never had sex or a relationship due to a hormonal condition that's caused me to develop a very atypical appearance, she explained. Right, so you don't look like all the other girls, so it's a little bit atypical, you know, you look a bit abnormal. I have seen chicks. This is no word of a lie. There's a chick in India, conjoined fucking twin with its head stuck to another head. And that one can find a boyfriend. So you as a 19-year-old are being like, oh, I look a bit, you know, a little bit average looking, so I can't find a boyfriend. Stop fucking complaining. Maybe your shitty personality has something to do with it. The online subculture is known for attracting, here we go, primarily heterosexual white men. Of course. Who else would it be? Many of whom claim it is impossible for women to be incels, making female involvement all the more confusing. There is a misguided belief shared by many male incels that women, no matter what they look like, can find sexual partners as long as they are willing to be physically intimate with any man willing to have intercourse with them. With Huck magazine explaining, the idea that any woman can get laid if she wants to is common on incel sites. Incel sites like what specifically? Because I actually don't know any incel websites. So it sounds like you're just pulling shit out of your ass. So until I hear about this site, read it for myself, I don't believe you. Fiona, another femcel who has never had sex or been in a romantic relationship, told Huck magazine that she is constantly reminding male incels that they need to be inclusive, but they just tell her to go on a dating app or website to find a sexual partner. So that's it. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So these female incels, or femcels, as I like to call them after reading this article, are basically telling male incels, you can't exclude us. You have to fuck us. You have to have sex with us. Now, think about this, right? If male incels were to turn around and say to women, you have to have sex with us, even though nobody else wants to have sex with us, you have to have sex with us because, well, you're an incel too. And therefore, you know, fuck you if you don't have sex with us. That's basically what these idiots are saying. It's the most ridiculous double standard, and it doesn't work like that, ladies. If I can call you ladies, I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you behave like. So I'm just going off what I see in the article. Let's continue. While that here we go. While that may work for a woman who is just looking to be physically intimate, Fiona said there are a lot of femcels who want sex in a relationship with people we love. So you are voluntarily celibate. You're not incels, are you? Right? Exactly. Sally Barton's here right now and says a femcel is a girl who can't get the top 40% of guys. That's exactly right. We've got a woman telling us this. It's so fucking obvious to everybody with an IQ over 13. Right? It was so fucking obvious that that's how it works. Right? So you want to shame male incels, right, for not being able to get laid, even though some of them literally just want to have sex. Just like, we just want to have sex. Please just fuck us, right? That's basically where male incels are at. And it sucks for those people in that position. But, you know, that's just how it is in some situations. So when we flip it, right, to the other side. By the way, thank you for that generous $5 donation, Peppermint Cat's Ass. I appreciate you, brother. So when you flip it to the other side, and you're calling women incels, right? And they're like, oh, I'm involuntarily celibate because I can't fuck the guys that I want and be in a relationship with them. That's not involuntarily celibate, you moron. Even a Dahlia Rose can get cream pied. I'm sure you can too. Rachel admitted that the widespread refusal to acknowledge femcels made her feel even more alone because she is being rejected by both society and people who share the same struggles as she does. But you don't want to fuck the people that share the same struggles that you do. That's just the point. That's the whole fucking point. However, she continues to interact with male members of the subculture because there aren't many femcels, and she doesn't believe there are women outside of the community who can really understand what she's going through. Rachel even admitted she has a slight hope that she will connect with a male incel who will one day become her partner and subsequently no longer be a male incel. So it takes great measures apparently for a female to become incel, she explained. A female incel has to be extremely ugly or demented or to be rejected by all males. So basically she needs to be a feminist. Got it. Claire, a former femcel who now has a girlfriend, told the magazine she used to pretend to be a man online to speak to other incels because many male members of the community see lesbians as competition. That's probably a fair remark. Male-dominated incel groups have now been accused, here we go, of inciting violence and Let me just do that. Male-dominated incel groups have been accused of inciting violence and misogyny online, and numerous communities and subreddits have been banned over their content. Popular posts from 2017 include featured hated titles such as "All women are sluts." I can understand how some people may feel that. I personally disagree with that specific phrase, just because I don't believe that's the case, but there are a lot that are sluts. So if we're saying all women are sluts, targeting that at the majority, then yes, that probably is correct. Because, you know, all females are sluts in their own ways, all guys are sluts in their own ways. It's a pretty broad statement, but it's not blanket true. I know a few that are not sluts, and I can respect that in the cases that do exist. All right, proof that girls are nothing but trash that use men. Again, generalization, but not completely true in all instances. There are people, again, that I know that don't fit that mold. The incel community garnered international attention in April after Alec Manassian, 25, reportedly drove a van into a group of pedestrians in Toronto. the same day he suggested he was an incel in a Facebook rant. So because of one guy who drove a van into a group of people, incels are misogynist, woman-hating, violence instigators. But when someone who is of a particular faith were to do the same thing, and that were to happen multiple times with multiple different people from that same faith, then that is apparently not. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not, and guys, please don't think that I'm going on a religious rant here. I'm not saying that people of that particular faith that I'm referring to should be blanket targeted with such rhetoric. And this is my whole point. This is my whole entire point, right? So why are they doing the same thing to us with one person doing it, right? Putting the blanket statement. It's just a ridiculous thing to do. That's my thoughts. The incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys, he wrote just hours before the attack. Chad is a term used to refer to sexually active men among the incel community. Wait, what? What? You cannot be a Chad and also be an incel. It's just those two are polar opposites. Because right over there somewhere you got Chads, and right over there somewhere you got the incels, right? Two polar opposites. Like chalk and fucking cheese, right? Stacey is an attractive cheerleader type who only sleeps with Chads, according to the incel definition. I don't know whose incel definition it was specifically that you're talking to, but that was definitely the case. The cryptic message also saluted Elliot Rodger, a community college student who killed 6 people and wounded 13 in shooting and stabbing attacks near the University of California, Santa Barbara in 2014. All right. Active Reddit groups for female incels such as r/TrueFemCels, that's TRUFEMCELS, have had issues with men pretending to be women, as well as male incels known as moids, M-O-I-D-S, men that ostracize imperfect damsels who don't recognize femcels. Again, you're not a femcel if you're saying, well, I could get laid, but I just don't want to fuck the guys that I could get laid by. I only want to fuck the guys that I want to be in a relationship with. So that's kind of a stupid thing to say, right? The r/TrueFemCels page now features a disclaimer to men who have just discovered the femcel sub. It's quite simple. This moderated sub is a safe space. Safe space. I need a safe space. For femcels. It is not for you, it reads. You have a plethora of outlets to pipe in with as a man and many other male-directed quips and opinions. This is not one of those outlets. The women who come here come to relax, vent, and to be free of your thoughts and input. They can shitpost or be high-minded as they so please without interruption. As such, moids, again, moids refers to men who ostracize imperfect damsels. I thought women didn't like being referred to as damsels. Silly fucking me, hey? Despite the... Here we go. Turns out there's more to this than I thought. Here we go. As such, moids who insist on being here are visitors only. Before it was hijacked by men, the term incel was coined in the 1990s by a woman only known as Alana, that's anal A backwards, who used it to describe her own experience with being unable to find a romantic or sexual partner. You mean a romantic or sexual partner that she wants to fuck. She created the website Involuntary Celibacy Project with the goal of it being an inclusive community for people who are experiencing the same things she was. So the first incels were women. That's very interesting to know. Very, very interesting to know. See where I'm going with this? That's not actually where I'm going with it, but you know what I'm saying. Alana, or Anal A backwards, eventually passed the site onto someone else and didn't hear the term again until years later when she read about Elliot Roger describing himself as an incel in online posts before going on a murder spree. It's frustrating, she told The Guardian in April. I feel like I did something important for the good of the world that then turned out to be a weapon as well. Despite the rampant anger against women, Rachel, Fiona, and Claire don't see it as a misogynist movement, though they do recognize that there are some misogynist incels. And I think that if that's what Rachel, Fiona, and Claire said, then I agree with Rachel, Fiona, and Claire on that particular point. There are some misogynistic incels, just as some Muslims are extremists. I actually hadn't read that part before, but did I not make that reference before and say that we shouldn't tar everyone with the same brush just because there's a couple of extremists? Right? That is what I said because I remember myself saying it, but I just found it in the article. So looks like me and the author, at least on this paragraph, on the same page. Yes, so there are some misogynistic incels, just as some Muslims are extremists, but Islam isn't an extremist religion, and the entire incel movement isn't misogynistic, Rachel said. Brah fucking vo, Rachel, you nailed it. That's what I'm saying, right? And the sooner femtards like Clementine Fraud realize that shit, the sooner they can shut the fuck up about incels, because they know nothing about them. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again today. I appreciate you all, especially you for the donation, Peppermint Cat's Ass. You're a real boss, man. I appreciate you. Magulags LLC says, Sydney the B-50 truth bomber. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. Even though there was a spelling mistake there and you corrected yourself. I respect that. All right, guys. I'm out of here for now. I really appreciate you all. I'm going to go and do my Patreon video now. For those of you who want to get my raw and uncut content where I don't hold back, head on over to patreon.com/SydneyMGTOW. And if you want to join me on Subscribestar, subscribestar.com/SydneyMGTOW. Until next time though, guys, share this video, smash the like button, hit the comments, and make sure you use the word femcel often and proud. And yes, Jeff Jones, Patreon, they're a bit on the nose lately, but that's why I got subscribes on my man. So if you want to head on over there, feel free to do so. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you all, and I'm going to go do my video for my Patreon subscribers now. So I'm going to try and upload that tonight. If I can't, it'll be in the morning. But until then, peace.